welcome back to the Worlds Collide podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mandy, and this guy with me, what's your name again, dude?
Billy.
Oh, Billy. Okay, hi, Billy. How you doing?
I'm Michael. I'll be your other host.
All right, guys. I know. We've royally screwed up. You know, we said last time we were gonna be getting on this nice, steady little schedule, but life is just not working out that way. Our schedules are not lining up the way we had hoped. So
Life ain't having it.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Exactly. So for now, what we're going to promise is that we will just put one out as often as we can. Okay, guys? So there's that.
And then maybe we'll be able to get on a regular schedule if we don't promise a schedule.
Yeah. And in all seriousness, we are trying. Life has just been kind of kicking us a little bit, but we're kicking back and we're going to get this shit straight one way or the other. We promise. Swear to God. Okay? Just be patient with us. Another thing I want to tell you guys before we jumped in on this is we are going to be putting up a video over on our Patreon. And I'll include that link somewhere right in here to our Patreon. We haven't recorded it yet. We're going to do it either tonight or tomorrow. And it will be going up on our Patreon, on our Worlds Collide YouTube channel, and possibly my channel, maybe Michael's channel. We'll just kind of have to see. And it's really about our parent company, KeemStar Creations, overall, what the plans are for it, and which also includes plans for Worlds Collide. So if you guys feel like it, y'all can go check that out. Once we get it done and get it up, I'll come back and put a link to that somewhere in here. So there you go. All right, Michael, we got a lot to unpack.
Yeah. And we said last time that we were going to try not to be all negative.
But it seems like all the internet wants to dish out is negative. The
internet's being a negative Nancy. Imagine that.
No
offense to any Nancy's out there.
And it's no surprise that Facebook is one of the leading negative Nancy's in the world. Facebook never failing to disappoint with the hateful, just smart ass, rude comments. Oh God, it's a cesspool of idiots. Sorry if you use Facebook, you're not an idiot, but you know what I'm talking about. Y'all seen the people I'm talking about.
I resemble that remark.
What I'm referring to in this instance, although, you know, Facebook puts a lot out there to refer to. There was an article posted, as you know, a lot of y'all know, I am originally from down around Tennessee, Alabama, and I still, you know, follow some of the news stations from down there, just kind of keep up with what's going on, you know. And they had put up a story on their Facebook page, one of the news channels from down to Alabama, about a young mother of 3 who was facing eviction after the whole eviction moratorium was lifted. Excuse me, can't talk
words
tonight.
Are hard.
Yes, words. It's just too big a word. But she had actually been employed, worked as, if I remember correctly, a dealer at casinos in Vegas. And you know, of course, Corona hit casinos kind of hard. And a lot of those folks lost their jobs, and she was one of them. Well, she had, you know, put up a GoFundMe trying to get help. She had gotten a 24-hour eviction notice with those 3 babies, and she needed help. But a local news station somehow, you know, got a hold of her story. CNN got a hold of it. It was featured, and she ended up raising much more than what she had actually originally needed. I think it ended up getting to be over $200,000, something like that. Ain't that right, Michael?
Last time I checked, yeah. I think the next day it was at like 70,000, or that same day maybe it got up to 70,000, and the next day it hit like over 200,000.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it ended up at, but
yeah. So you know, a lot of people opened their hearts and their wallets to help this woman. And the comments on this article, and I'm going to be putting some of them up, and there's one in particular I really want to discuss. One lady, Tracy Mackey Weistine, I'll put a screenshot of her comment and her profile and everything up here, because, you know, I used to wouldn't do stuff like that, but the way I'm looking at it now is if you're going to post a horrible, nasty comment publicly, it's fine with calling your ass out publicly. Yes. So she put up, I pass by help wanted signs every day, just saying, with a little gif of somebody sitting there with their lip poked out and acting like they're crying. And if you go look at this woman's this woman's profile herself, all she does, this is obviously a very privileged woman, because everything is about her next vacation, her next trip to Vegas, her next trip to Florida, this trip, that trip. But yet then also dogging people that she thinks aren't working, or like this one. We had a great trip and drive home. The restaurant situation was not as negative as I heard. My biggest complaint is Cracker Barrel in Rainbow City. Stopped in around 9 today. Food was mediocre and the service the same. I guess at least they are working. And it's like, really, lady? Your privileged ass is going to sit here and pass this judgment. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Who put her on the board of directors to make these calls as to who's working enough and who's not working enough?
Exactly. And here's
what dog does she have in this race, you know?
Here's another one. Ann Elizabeth Collins. Oh, no relation to me, I guarantee, because none of my family look at it this way. She needs to get a job. Laura Lee Gonzalez. She was still employed. Did you not read? Reading comprehension is key, people. And a lot of y'all really, really are lacking in that area. She was laid off. She was unemployed. I don't see how that's so hard to comprehend.
These things happen. I mean, they happen to the best of people that at times that they never expected. I mean, this pandemic's been, pardon the language, this pandemic's been hell on a lot of people.
It has. It has. I have seen people that have been working at the same job for 20, 30 years suddenly finding themselves on the unemployment line.
Yeah. And there are jobs available. I mean, there's a lot of places looking for people.
And at the same time, there's a lot of people looking for a job.
Yeah. But what you have to keep in mind here, and I've been in this situation, my skills didn't line up with what was available. Even though there was a lot of jobs available, my skills didn't line up with what was available.
Exactly. Well, and taking into consideration too, one of the things that was pointed out in this article is her 3 children, their childcare shut down because of Corona. Okay, so now you've lost your job. You have no babysitter. So even if you get a job, what are you going to do with the kids?
Spend your entire check on a babysitter if you can find one.
Exactly. And people are acting like it's just so easy just to drop everything and run out and grab the first fast food job you find. It doesn't work that way for so many people. And most of the people I notice making these comments are ones you can tell probably either never had to work a day in their lives or had somebody there to help them and, you know, kind of pave the way for them, make things easier for them. They don't understand what it's like to have to do it on your own. And that really bothers me, that we've got people like that are setting up on their nice little pedestal looking down at the rest of us like we're little peasants passing judgment. Get over your damn self, people. It's ridiculous.
I completely agree with that. It's not my place to judge, you know, what somebody else is going through. Because, I mean, they're living that life. We don't know, standing on the outside of somebody else's life, what they're going through, what they're dealing with, what their options are. And this was probably one of those cases, and she just happened to hit it lucky and go viral.
Well, here's another comment I just noticed. I didn't notice this one when I was reading this before. Lilith Elite, Eliet. Yes, I spelled your name out. So hi, Lilith, if you're listening. Shouldn't have been a bitch. I'm just here for how beautiful her girls are. I hope she can make better decisions in the future. Her decisions had nothing to do with what happened to her.
And she was a victim of company laying off.
And that Laura Lee Gonzalez popping up again. Miss Laura Lee, let me go ahead. Let me just pull your friggin' profile up, since you want to preach so much and you're so friggin' perfect. Let's pull your whole profile up here and let everybody see your beautiful face. There you go, Miss Laura Lee Gonzalez from Madison, Alabama. She had another remark to make. I did not know her gaming job was an issue, ? She should have saved the coin. She was still working. She has been working. So let's see how this works out. Again, Miss Laura Lee, honey, reading comprehension is key. Jesus Christ. These people kill me. Now, the most ridiculous comment out of all of them, I can't pull up on the news post itself to show you guys. And the reason I can't do that is because that person deleted it after I approached their workplace, because I knew I was going to end up doing this story, and I absolutely wanted an employer's feedback on this. This was from a Charles Diello. I'm not exactly sure how to say that. I'm probably butchering it, but it's Charles Diello. And his simple comment was, hooking is not easy during COVID now. He's automatically going to assume this young woman is a hooker. And something about that just infuriated me worse than all the rest of it. And I noticed on his profile, he works at Comfort Inn in Elizabeth City near University. I believe that's in North Carolina. Let me pull that back up again.
Probably so. I know there is Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Yeah, it's Elizabeth City, North Carolina. For some reason, you're going robot on me.
Yeah, you're doing the same.
We're still having to use Discord right now, guys, to record the podcast, because we got some awesome mics. We got everything set up, but there's still one more. What was it we needed?
A cloud lifter is what I'm planning on getting for it. We're running into some issues with the board not providing enough gain for the mics. The mics are very good quality mics. However, they require a lot of gain. But once they do have the gain they need, they sound great. Unfortunately, the preamps in the board that we've got are not very clean. So once I boost the gain up high enough, we're getting a lot of background noise, and it just doesn't sound good at all. So I've got a solution for that we're going to try, and hopefully be getting those up and going shortly. And the audio will be much better then.
Yes, once we get those up and going, the audio is going to be better, and we'll start being able to do the visual side of the podcast. So y'all stay tuned for that.
Y'all can see my ugly mug.
But back to Mr. Charles here. Yes, that is Comfort Inn in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And it said he was director of operations there. And I thought, wow, okay. Well, I go over there, and yes, there are pictures of Daryl Charles there. Posing with employees, this, that, and the other. And I noticed there was a lot of women that worked there, and some women of color. So it really made me start to wonder about him. So this was what I sent to the Comfort Inn in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. I said, just so you know, I am the host of a podcast, among other things, and I'm going to be doing a story on the reactions to the news post linked below. And I linked him to the news post about this particular young lady. I said, one of the very tacky and rude comments was from your director of operations, Charles. I'm including a screenshot. And if you go to the comment section of the article and scroll down, you will see your employee's comment. I was wondering if you had a statement about this. Does he feel this way about all women or just women of color? Have you had any complaints filed with your company by women who may have had bad experiences with him? And I included a screenshot of what he had said as well as his profile saying that he worked there. Well, it shows that they read it, but I never got a response from them. Instead, suddenly I got a message request from Charles himself. And this was what Charles had to say about the situation. Mandy, thank you for bringing to my attention what was posted on my Facebook account last night by a so-called friend. I did make the mistake of leaving my phone at the restaurant. When I went to the bathroom and did not realize that they used my phone, I know this is no excuse, but I did remove posting and reposted what I do really think of the situation and hope she does well for herself and her kids. No one should be kicked out due to this world issue we're facing. Again, thank you for letting me know, and I do apologize and have learned not to leave my phone around so-called friends and not to stay connected to Facebook all the time.
Bullshit.
We're getting
Damage
to that.
control.
I simply responded, thanks so much for the reply. I will be sure to include it in the story. Again, thanks so much. And I did. I did just what I said I was going to do. Now, I didn't say what I wanted to. How many times have we seen somebody that was called out for a god-awful post somewhere online, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, wherever, and it's, oh, somebody else had my phone?
Damage control. I mean, that's all it is. You posted what you really thought, then you got your ass called out, and now you're doing damage control. It's simple.
Exactly. So, Charles, while I do appreciate you responding to me, if you happen to hear this, I have to agree with Michael. I call bullshit. And I really hope that the women that have to work with you and the women that are guests at that hotel are shielded from you as much as possible, because there's no excuse for you automatically thinking that a woman who needs help is a hooker. And furthermore, let me tell you something else, buddy, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but in my opinion, a grown woman who's not being forced, who is consenting, who wants to make a living with her body, that's her business too. So, yeah, zip it, jackass.
Mic drop.
I'm just so sick of some men that think they have the right to tell women, oh, and that's going to lead me off on another tangent we didn't even have scheduled, but by God, I'm going to say something about it.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just in a mood. I'm in a mood. Mr. Adam Asshole McIntyre, and that's what I'm going to call you forever. So just deal with it. In case y'all don't know who Adam McIntyre is, he is a very popular drama commentator on YouTube, and he's one that, I'm trying to think of a tactful way to say this. I'm just going to put it the way I would if nobody was listening. The way I would if it was just me and Michael talking. So y'all are, through this podcast, y'all are going to get to know the real me, and that may be a good or bad thing. I'm not sure yet. Probably bad, but let's roll with it. He really sucks Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas' asses. I mean, he's just, his nose is so brown. In other words, he kisses their butts in hope of getting some favoritism or some clout out of them. So any lie they choose to throw out about anybody, and we all know, and we're going to be discussing a little bit about Ethan later, and Trisha, but we all know Ethan and Trisha will say and do anything for views. And that actually kind of hurts me to say, to be honest, because I used to be a big fan of both. And they have both become everything I hated. And they probably always were. They just hit it a little better than what they have been. And I got my theories on why they're not hiding it anymore, but we'll get into that later too. But Adam, a lot of y'all may know he's got issues with Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger. And he had this whole thing. Everybody was upset the other day with Colleen because she posted pictures of her pregnant belly.
How dare she?
And it was, oh, that's insensitive to women who can't have children or who have had miscarriages, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I've had a miscarriage. I've had 4, as a matter of fact. I see a woman who is pregnant and is happy to be having that baby posting a picture of her pregnant belly. I am happy for her. And here's the thing. Yes, I feel bad for those women who either can't get pregnant or just suffered a miscarriage, because I know that pain. But to expect women who can get pregnant to just hide themselves and hide their joy and their happiness is absolute bullshit. And it's basically the equivalent of, there are people in the world that can't walk. And that's a horrible thing. But does that mean that everybody that can walk should just never post pictures of themselves standing up again? It's the same damn equivalent. And another thing, who in the hell is Adam McIntyre to tell any woman what to do with their bodies, how to feel about their pregnancy? Because he had something to say about how she feels about her pregnancy, about her miscarriage, every damn thing. Adam, until you can get your little ass knocked up, zip it up. You have no business saying shit. I'm sorry. That's just, that's been bothering the hell out of me for days.
Tell us how you really feel.
That infuriates me. He is taking, and I know there's this whole controversy over the whole underwear thing and stuff with him and her from before. That, you know, I'm on the fence as far as that goes. No, she shouldn't have sent him the underwear. Then again, I'm still not sure if she really knew exactly how old he was at the time. And I actually think he was like 18. He may have been younger. I'm not sure. But it was underwear that was from the skit. I think it was for the Miranda scenes thing. It wasn't actually underwear Colleen was using or wearing. And he had asked for it because he was a fan of the Miranda Sings character, if I remember correctly. So, you know, that's a whole weird situation. But that does not give you the right to comment on her pregnancy or her body. And I am tired of seeing men that think they have that right. No man has that right. I'm sorry. Until you can, I'm trying to reel myself back in, y'all. I swear I am. But until
Snap.
See, this is why I need him. He is my balance. He's what's keeping me from really going on a tangent right now, guys. So y'all thank God for him, okay? Because I do.
This is mild. Yeah,
if we were not recording, the things that would be coming out of my mouth, you just. But yeah, that's my feelings on Adam McIntyre. So how y'all doing?
Just lovely.
Oh, me. All right, guys, we need to take a break here for just a second to pay some bills. So we'll see y'all back here in just a minute after y'all hear a little bit from our sponsors.
Chiloo.
Michael, should we tell them about Anchor?
Absolutely.
Okay, guys, let me tell y'all about Anchor. And yes, this is sponsored, but I would be saying this even if they weren't our sponsor. Anchor, if you have not heard about them, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Number one, it's free. Okay, absolutely free.
Free's always good.
Oh, free is fantastic, especially if you go to comparing the prices of some of the software and the platforms for podcasts. When you're just starting out, it can really get on up there. So when you're just starting a podcast, if you've ever thought about it, by all means, check out Anchor because number one, it's free. Number two, it really simplifies the process a great deal. You've got all the tools that you would need to allow you to record and edit a podcast right from your phone or your computer. The interface is incredibly easy. And, you know, say you want to do an audio version and a video version of your podcast. but you don't want to have to fool with having all these separate files and this, that, and the other. No worries. Sit down, turn on your camera, record the thing, and Anchor will separate the audio from the video for you. So then you can have your audio version and your video version. Just all around, it's a great way if you're looking at starting a podcast to get up and running, just hit the ground, running full steam right out of the gate. So by all means, absolutely go check out Anchor, and it's ANCHOR, just like, anchor to a ship. Very easy to find. Look it up, check it out. We'll include links in our descriptions. And just, go take a look at it. I'm pretty sure you'll find it's going to be one of your best options to get up and going. Okay.
Simple and free. You really don't have much to lose there.
Exactly. Absolutely nothing to lose. So go give it a shot. Folks, if you really want to support the podcast, there are a number of ways to do that. You're doing one right now just by listening. That's always a great way to support. But if you're looking to take that support, that little extra mile, there are a number of ways to do that. And there is a link to give you that number of ways. Simply head over to our website, worldscollidepodcast.com, and head over to the support tab. There you'll find a whole list of ways to support us, whether it be Patreon, one-time donations, monthly subscriptions, shopping on KeemStar's creations, subbing on YouTube, listening, following on Twitter, following on Instagram, or checking out me or Michael on any of our socials or our websites. You will find links for every bit of that. And I assure you, no matter how you choose to show your support for us and the Worlds Collide podcast, we are ever so grateful. No one form of support is more important than the other. They are all equally important and equally appreciated. So thank you very much. And again, head over to worldscollidepodcast.com. All right, guys, we are back, and we've been sitting here cutting up. He's been, chilling me out, reeling me back in.
Yep. Tying her up in the corner.
This man, I'm serious, y'all. He must stay tired, because when I get kind of ticked like that about some things quite often, and when I really get on a roll, it's not good.
She's got a personalized soapbox that's got neon on it. Whole 9 yards, chrome. I
I intend to get it lined with a little bit of gold at some point.
There you go.
Maybe a few diamonds stuck on there every now and then.
Just to make it pop.
Yeah.
Give it a little bling.
Yeah, gotta have that bling, baby. Speaking of men that piss me off.
Yeah, this is going to get good.
We're going to talk about James Saroka, y'all.
Insert dumpster fire here.
Yeah. See, Michael wasn't aware of the whole James Saroka situation. I've been kind of following it for a couple of years now. And it actually came to my attention through Repsion on YouTube. I will link his videos on this subject. He does a much more in-depth coverage of this than we're going to. And he does a really good job of it. But James Saroka is probably... He makes Onision look like a puppy dog. I don't even know how to describe him other than he's the damn devil.
He's garbage.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
When I first started following the story of James Saroka, it was a couple of years ago. And it was really disturbing to watch. He would actually post these videos online of himself abusing his wife. And I'm not going to say her name. For some reason, I just don't feel that's right. I feel she's been exploited enough.
Yes, I completely agree with that.
But when I showed Michael little snippets of these videos and what he was doing to her very publicly, you could see the anger on his face.
I have to be real careful in what I say here, but I would be more than happy to save the taxpayers a lot of money.
I think anybody with any decency that saw those videos would agree with you.
This guy needs to be... Something needs to happen to him. Something needs to be done with him. There is no sense whatsoever in any human being treating another human being the way that he treated her.
No, it was unbelievably disturbing. And as someone who has been through a similar situation, that's all I'm going to say. The first time I saw one of the videos of what he was doing to her, I sat and cried. Because all I kept thinking was, I know how alone she feels and how bad she feels. And you have to keep in mind also that this particular woman, she has some mental disabilities. And technically has the mind of a child. And he had managed to coax her away from her family. Her family had been looking for her for years.
3 years, I believe.
Yeah. And he just kept moving her around, staying in hotels and scamming people out of money and just all kinds of horrible, horrible crap. And he finally messed up in Oklahoma. What part of what makes me mad about this situation is I know for a fact several people that saw this stuff online were contacting authorities, reporting it, trying to get something done, and nothing was ever done. And now we have this hope that something is about to be done, and then we find out what it is, and it's like a punch in the gut to me. He was actually caught in Oklahoma. The couple was walking down past a pawn shop, and he was beating her in the face. Fist to the face, multiple times. People saw it. People called the police. He was arrested. He was charged with misdemeanors. And for whatever reason, keep in mind also, I forgot to include this part, she is pregnant at this point. For whatever reason, Oklahoma does not deem beating a pregnant woman in the face as a violent crime. It is considered a non-violent crime. It's a misdemeanor. The most he may get out of these charges is up to 1 year in the county jail and a fine.
And that's ridiculous. And for those that may not know about this story, because I'm sure a lot of people out there are not aware of it, to give you just a little idea, and I'm going to quote some of the quotes that Oklahoma 6 put up. By the way, it's 93 degrees there now. It feels like 102 degrees.
Glad I'm not there.
Yeah, it's 77 here. So, yeah, I'll take it.
Yep.
But some of the quotes that they pulled from his videos. Quote, "You're going to do better. Quote, "You're going to do better, be better, or you're going to fuck off." Quote, "You're going to get kicked out. I'm going to call the police and let them know I'm abusing you." Quote, "Stop looking at me. I don't want your looks. I don't want you watching my screen. I genuinely want to block you." Quote, "I hit a woman, so forgiveness is kind of a necessity." That one really got me. Quote, "You let me talk. You be quiet and pretend like I abuse you because you think you won right now." And last but not least, quote, "You're choosing to be a victim, so go be a victim." And this is the way he's treating her in these videos.
Oh, and that's some of the calm stuff. One of the videos I watched, he was teaching her and his audience about what women are on this earth for. And supposedly we are here to do nothing but fuck over men. That's it. That's all we're here for. That's all we're worth. And in another video, if I'm not going to swear to this, but if I remember correctly, in one of his old videos, he even made the statement that women were only good for what was between their legs. So this guy's a real piece of work. And at one point, I can't remember which state it was in, but it was in one of the, it wasn't in Oklahoma, if I remember correctly. It was in one of the other states he had moved her to. He befriended a man that had a little bit of money. This man also had a diminished mental capacity. He managed to basically imprison this man for weeks. Had this man as brainwashed as he did his wife, and drained this man of every penny he had, and then threw him out. He was taking his wife's food and that man's food and would sit and eat in front of them and not allow them to eat. This SOB is a piece of work. And to find out that he's finally arrested, I'm thinking, hot damn, finally. And then to find out it's a misdemeanor?
Yeah, that's rather disappointing.
Well, in what reality is punching anyone, let's say not even your pregnant wife, just anybody, in what reality is punching anybody in the face non-violent? I don't understand that. And I will put up a little piece somewhere right in here of what the police in Oklahoma had to say, you know, that whole situation. And you guys can hear it for yourselves. And like I said, I'll also link Repsion's videos below.
Looking at me. I don't want your looks. I don't want you watching my screen. Hit a woman. So it's kind of like forgiveness is a necessity.
These are just a few of the many videos all over the internet that Rogers County deputies call absolutely disturbing.
Let me talk, you be quiet, and then pretend like I've abused you. Because you think you won right now, and you're choosing to be a victim. So go be a victim.
When you see the mental and emotional abuse that he is, he's exposed her to, and the whole way he's just been digging his hooks into her deeper and, brainwashing her.
As a prosecutor, it's hard when you see what we consider to be violent crimes that are classified nonviolent, and domestic abuse on a pregnant woman is a perfect example of that.
It's just, Michael, you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Do you remember what I was told in the good old state of Tennessee about my ex?
Oh, yeah.
I was told in the state of Tennessee, I had left my ex. He had come back a few nights later, broken into my apartment, held a box cutter to my throat, and raped me. I went for a restraining order. And the judge who overheard the hearing for the restraining order read off, because when you go to get one of those, you have to write down all of your reasons for feeling that you are in danger from this person. Why you need this order to protect you. And so the judge was reading all that off, and he got to that part where I mentioned that. And he proceeded to look at my ex and said, son, if you had married her, you'd have some protection against these rape charges because you can't rape your wife.
Huh.
That's kind of what this put me in mind of. That punching her in the face is nonviolent.
Yeah. And on top of that, you would think that there would be something that could be done about the mental abuse.
Yes.
Because and the deputies pointed out that when they got there that he would not speak with them. And the victim kept asking Saroka, or however the hell you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Saroka.
The victim kept asking him for permission to talk.
Yeah, because she's that scared. She thinks that she's not supposed to talk without his permission. And I remember being that way too.
Deputies noted that she showed signs of battered women syndrome. Said and this is a quote, it's a textbook example of it. She's afraid of talking to the outside world. She has no control over finances. She has no control over what she can do or where she can go, according to Deputy Dorsey.
And that's very true. I was the same way with my ex for a while. I was terrified to speak for fear I would say something that would upset him. And there were times when people around us called the police. And when the police got there, I either would not talk or I would just repeat what he had told me to say. And to be honest, looking back on that now, I'm ashamed of myself for ever letting any man do me that way. But in all reality, nobody in that situation should feel shame. You put your love and your trust in someone that abused it.
Exactly. Well, it's not your fault.
No, it's not. And our system, part of the reason for me even bringing up my ex and what I went through is to point out how broken our system is when it comes to domestic violence. My ex is told, if you married her, you'd have protection against rape. What? This woman is beat in the face and it's considered nonviolent. And so many people wonder why women don't leave, why they don't get out sooner. Michael can attest to this. How long ago has it been that I finally left my ex? Over 20 years?
It's been a while.
And does he not still harass me and stalk me?
Still issues.
And yet, a restraining order is not worth the paper it's written on. So the next time y'all want to pass judgment on a woman in this situation for not leaving, take it from me. There's not as much help out there for them as you think there is. So if you live like here where we live, we have a wonderful group of people that work with women like that. We have a shelter for them, a place where they can go and be safe. So if you live somewhere that has something like that, help them out. Donate to them. Donate clothes. We donate all of our granddaughters old stuff. You know, I'm not saying old, but stuff that she's outgrown to that shelter, because very often these women, they don't get to take anything out of there with them. Just if they get a chance to run, they have to take whatever's on their back, grab their child and go. So a lot of times there's babies in these places, kids in these places that need things. These women need clothes. And sometimes I donate makeup to it. And a lot of people have asked me, well, why would you donate makeup to a battered women's shelter? Because very often women in that position are not allowed to wear makeup or to do their hair or to feel feminine or to feel pretty. And coming out of that, the first time you get to do that,
it's empowering.
Yes, it's such a confidence booster. And you start to think, okay, maybe I am worth more than he told me. Maybe I can go out and get a job and have a life and do something. So yes, I donate makeup. But even if you don't want to do that, I mean, you could donate clothes, money. A lot of times they need like shampoos and deodorants and, you know, just the normal basic stuff a lot of us take for granted. So if you know of a shelter near you, please, please, please help them, okay? Because a lot of these women are never going to make it out without a place like that. And a lot of times, some of them that do, because they don't have a place to go, end up having to go right back to their abuser, or he tracks them down and does something worse to them than what he's done before. So y'all just keep that in mind before you pass judgment, okay? Okay. I didn't expect to let that little segment get to me the way it did.
Yep, that's why I was giving you the reel it back in.
I know. I know. Okay, let's move on to something.
Before we move on, I would like, and I know there's probably zero chance that he would ever see this, but it's just an open invitation for Mr. Saroka. I'd love for you to come and talk to me that way. Just going to put that out there.
I think a lot of men would, any real man. He is not a real man. Any man that does that is not a man. And honestly, doesn't deserve to be breathing.
Out there.
Okay. Let's talk about something that just makes me mad again.
All right.
Something that don't get me emotional. Let's talk about Trisha Paytas. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of dumpster fires.
Yeah, the biggest dumpster fire on the internet. Let's go with it. All right. First off.
And I wanted to like her so much the first couple times I seen anything from her.
Well, if you'll remember, I adored this woman, and I felt so bad for her because people were always going at her, and I thought, okay, she's done some bad stuff, but she's trying to change. Let people change. You know me, I've always said give people a second chance. But Trisha has had how many chances? And just keeps getting worse. And on top of it, she won't give other people that same courtesy. She wants to drag up everybody else's past, even if they have changed and went on and done great things for the people around them. She still wants to bring up their past, try to cancel them. Just to build herself up. And I'm sorry, Trisha, but that's a shit person. And recently, she's back after a few folks, but let's start with the first one. What was his name again, Michael? The guy on TikTok she went after.
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
I am not love she. Isn't that what he went by on TikTok? I
think it's something like that.
I'm not love. I'm not she love. I'm not she love.
I'm not she love. Yeah,
that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
There's a little plug for him, but if he needs it.
Yeah. This guy. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I could tell just by looking at this guy's Twitter, he is incredibly arrogant. Probably
he thinks a lot of himself.
Yeah, he does, and he's probably not the best person in the world. But I don't know that. I don't know him. But however, that does not mean he's a pedophile. And he had posted on his TikTok, I think it was about 5-6 days ago, something like that. Trisha and her little band of psychotic sheep have managed to get him removed from TikTok.
Band of psychotic sheep.
I'm sorry, but that's what they are. And they've managed to get him removed from TikTok, so that TikTok is no longer available. But I was smart enough when I first seen the crap she was pulling, I recorded it all. So I will post all of that here.
Whoever this musty little sewer rat is needs to be off TikTok and in jail. It's not a joke. It can't be a joke. And your apartment needs to be searched.
I'm still stuck on the psychotic sheep. I'm just hearing Trisha and her merry band of psychotic sheep were making their way across the Shire.
Oh my God. No.
Okay, now that I got that out of my system.
But basically what had happened was this guy put up a video. It was supposed to, a TikTok. It was supposed to basically be about how hard it is for guys nowadays to find a woman. And he's got this rose and he tries to present it to one girl and she says, no, I'm a lesbian. So he pulls the rose back and kind of jumps back. Then he tries to present it to another girl and she says, I'm 13. And he really jumps back and pulls the rose back. Well, Trisha decides that that's wrong and he's a pedophile. Whoever the slimy little sewer rat is needs to be in jail. It's not a joke. It can't be a joke. And you need to be off TikTok and your apartment needs to be searched. Trisha, you're reaching again just to stir your little psychotic sheep up. She knows that by calling a man a pedophile, and that's basically what she's trying to do right here, she's going to get all her little sheeples stirred the hell up, and they're going to go out and try to spread the little psychosis everywhere and make this man's life hell. And that's exactly what they've done. And it's like a trend with Trisha. It's like she's trying to purposely turn the entire internet into one big ball of pedophiles. And don't get me wrong, there are pedophiles everywhere.
But you're diluting the term.
Exactly. And that is my issue with it. Every time you make these petty, childish claims, you are taking the power out of that word and taking the attention away from legitimate victims. And yet, so many of her little sheep want to act like she's some goddess for doing this. No, she's not. She's part of the goddamn problem, y'all.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Just to, this is pretty funny. I actually had Keem's Twitter pulled up here.
Oh, we're going to get into the stuff with her and KeemStar too, y'all. Just hold on for that.
Happened to notice something talking about the pedo thing. Paul B, which has a Twitter handle of @PaulB5690758. Sounds like a legit, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually responded to him on that thread.
Yeah. It says Paul was replying to KeemStar with, "Let's get #PedoKeem trending. 40-year-olds dating 20-year-olds are not something we can let slide." Keem, being Keem, retweeted this with #PedoKeem. I'll help you since the internet has nothing else going on.
And you know, part of me, you know, I don't blame Keem for snapping back like that. But at the same time, when he does it, that's diluting it too. That's
true. That's true.
And in case you guys don't know what's going on, I'm sure most of you know who KeemStar is. Trisha, well, a couple of weeks ago, Keem and his longtime girlfriend, the mother of his child, they separated, they split. He has recently started dating a beautiful 20-year-old girl. And, you know, Keem is, 39, 40, somewhere in there. The internet is losing their damn minds over two consenting adults that are of age.
I believe losing their shit is the correct term.
Yeah. Hooking up. Okay. The same people that are, you know, having this fit and that, oh, clutch my pearls, he's taking advantage of her, are the same people that will yell that at 18 years old, a girl should be able to create an OnlyFans and do porn. That it's her choice. Well, then, okay, why is it not a 20-year-old girl's choice if she dates a 40-year-old man? Why is it that at 18, they're of sound enough mind to do anything and everything on the internet, but at 20, they're not of sound enough mind to pick who they want to date? You people are messed up in the head. It's either that a young woman, and that's what she is, at 18 can do what she wants with her body and has her own mind, or that at 20 she doesn't have her own mind and can't do what she wants, but it can't be both. So which is it, people? You know, pick one. Should we draw short straw here? It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Trisha Paytas had to open her dirty, filthy little mouth about it. And it had to be, you know, oh, he's a pedophile. Oh, God, he's taking advantage. He's ruining her. He's doing this. He's doing that. All right, number one, Trisha, you were the one that just, it was either last year or the year before, was all up on KeemStar's thing about how bad you wanted to ride his and all this stuff. Is it that you're jealous, sweetheart? Could that be what it is? Because that would be kind of be my thoughts. You might be a little bit jealous. Because you're no longer the hot young thing. She is. Or is it just that you want to stir crap for more views? You've done proven you will stab anybody and everybody in the back for views. You have said yourself that you are a troll, that you say stuff that isn't true for views.
Think we have a winner. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Exactly. And she thinks we're all too stupid to realize this. No, your psychotic little sheep may not be able to think unless you tell them to, but the rest of us can, sweetheart.
It's merry band of psychotic little sheep.
Yeah. Maybe that should be my next book. But, you know, of course, Keem's clapping back at her. And I don't blame him. But you see so many people on KeemStar's post just going at him for dating a 20-year-old girl. People, let me tell you something. At 20 years old, I was dating an older guy. All right? I knew exactly what I was doing. I wasn't stupid. He wasn't that much older. But yeah, he was older. And it's this girl's right. If she wants to date an older man, fine. And guess what? When a woman does it, do you hear her getting called a pedophile? No, she gets cheered on and called a cougar. I'm sorry, but double standard much, folks?
I mean, the way I see it, you know, I don't know it all, never claim to. You know, I'm not necessarily the one to set a proper moral compass, I guess you would say, but if you have two consenting adults that are happy together, then what's the problem?
Exactly.
And consenting adults is the key words here. I mean, 20 years old is 2 years past what's considered an adult.
And here's another part of my problem with it, Michael. By keeping on with this, oh, she's 20, he's victimizing her. You're trying to make all women victims over every damn thing, y'all. And I'm sorry, but my mama, my grandmama, my great-grandmama fought too damn hard for us to have rights, for us to lay down and act like little victims over every little thing now. Ladies, grow a pair of balls. Jesus.
Lady balls.
Yes. I mean, yes, there are legitimate victims, such as James Saroka's wife, such as the victims of Harvey Weinstein, things like that. But, okay, for example, and I don't mean to bring this up again, but like what the judge said to my ex, we have gone from that, because that was several years ago. We have gone from that and people not believing women at all to now a woman can make a claim with no proof, no nothing.
And it's gospel.
And it's automatically throw this man under the jail, ruin his life, he's done. And how many times has everybody jumped on that bandwagon just to find out the woman was lying? Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, perfect example of this. And again, hashtag pedo Keem. Again, you are watering down the term. You are taking away its power and taking away attention from legitimate victims and legitimate predators. You people are not being warriors and fighting the good fight like you think you are. You are actually hurting it.
Taking the attention away from the people that really need it.
Yes. And this whole thing, if I don't like a man, I could just accuse him of being a pedophile. It's fine. That mentality is bullshit. Because guess what? I don't particularly like Keem my dang self. There's a lot of people I don't like. But I'm not going to accuse them of one of the worst crimes in the world just because I don't like them and think it's okay, because it's not. I cannot understand that mentality of being okay with falsely accusing somebody or knowing, and I'm sorry, but people like Trisha, they've got to know that when they do this, they are taking that attention away from the people who really need it. They know that's what they're doing, and they don't care. Anything for views, anything for clout, anything to be able to have her little sheep bow and kiss her ass. And I hate to say it, but Tana Mojo, of all people on the internet that I thought would have the courage to call Trisha out, I thought it would be Tana. Nope. Evidently, Tana kisses Trisha's ass too. Because they did Tana's podcast together the other day. She calls it Canceled. Okay? And she had Trisha on. And I remember Trisha was sitting there going, I don't understand why people don't think I don't like you. How many clips are on the internet taken straight from Trisha's videos of Trisha talking about how much she hates Tana, calling Tana a whore, calling Tana trash? She's posted such things on her Instagram and her Twitter, and the list goes on and on and on. And yet Tana sat there and went along with this crap. So Tana, I guess you lost your balls too. Disappointing as hell. Because somebody really needs to be, how do I put this? More people need to legitimately, and bigger, much bigger folks than us, need to be calling Trisha out. Trisha and Ethan Klein both. Something needs to be done. And KeemStar, I'm disappointed with him right now. We'll just go ahead and get that out of the way. Because he had posted something that made very good points the other day. And I did not record it, and I should have. But I thought he would be one that would, again, have the courage to do this. But he took it down. But he was directly calling out YouTube and Miss Susan at YouTube. And, there's been this whole thing between Keem, Trisha, and Ethan for a few years now. And Ethan and Trisha have went at Keem, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star. Look at their podcast. Look at Frenemies, or even just the H3 podcast. They're constantly going after these people. They are bullying people over and over and over and over and over, which directly violates YouTube's guidelines. But instead of YouTube and Susan doing anything about it, they go after Keem when he makes responses or when he says anything. Keem posted on his Twitter the other day a video discussing this and talking about how he has the emails that was sent to him by YouTube and Susan, threatening him with losing his channel if he made one more video about Ethan. Yet Ethan can make videos with a KeemStar puppet pretending to have intercourse with it. We all know the multiple videos and harassment he has endured from Ethan and Trisha, just like multiple other people have endured from them. And yet nothing is being done to them. And so many people want to feel bad for Ethan right now for the way Trisha has done him. I want to feel bad. But then again, I can't, because you participated, Ethan, in the crap she was doing to other people. And now she's done it to you. You should have seen it coming.
Came full circle there.
Yes, it did. And anybody that's watched Trisha or knows anything about Trisha, we knew it was going that way. We knew it was coming. But
And just for the record, still digging through some tweets here. Keem has invited Trisha on Drama Alert for an interview.
Yes, I meant to tell you about that. I forgot all about that. Yes, he's actually, if you go through some of his tweets, somebody had messaged him and said, you should just start a podcast. Yeah, you should start a podcast with Trisha and call it Frenemies. He said, at this point, I might. Keem,
Yeah.
darling, I'm not your biggest fan, man, but please don't cross over to that. Please. And I know a lot of people are going to go, well, do you know about Keem's past? Yes, I know. And that's part of the reason I say I'm not one of his biggest fans. I know.
Just when something's bullshit, we'll call bullshit.
Exactly.
Regardless of who it's against.
I mean, I can hate somebody, and if I see them getting accused of stuff that's not true, I'm going to stand up and say something. And don't get me wrong, even though I still keep Keem's past in my mind, I haven't forgotten it. In some ways, some days I see him changing for the better, and then the next day it's like, oh, no, never mind. False alarm. Yep. But I'm willing to try to watch him and see how it plays out. But at the same time, it's like I said, like Michael just said, if it's bullshit, we're going to call bullshit. Yep. And if it's somebody that we like, somebody that we actually like, that does some bullshit, we're still going to call them on their bullshit. So that's just the way it is. But I think Keem would be slitting his own throat if he gets mixed up with Trisha. Anybody get mixed up with Trisha is, as Michael has said, asking for it. What exactly do you think she would end up doing, Michael?
To be perfectly honest, when it comes to her, I would be afraid to guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because she will surprise you at every turn with something out of left field that you didn't really see coming.
She is the definition of that old saying, with friends like that, you don't need enemies.
You do not need enemies. Yes.
Yeah, that woman is terrifying.
Yeah. And she has one thing that I will definitely give her. She has passive aggressive down to a science.
Oh yeah, that in a smug way too.
And the ability to twist and turn any and every situation. So I would be scared to be in the same room with her. Just to be perfectly honest.
And the only reason she's able to do the stuff she's able to do is because YouTube keeps giving her that slack and allowing her to do it. But how many other people will they take down in a heartbeat? So what is it that Ethan and Trisha have either on Susan, on YouTube itself, or is it just the fact they bring money to the platform? What is it? I want somebody at YouTube to answer that for me. And guys, any of you that are listening, if you have a platform, whether it be big or small, do us a favor. Join us and others in calling out YouTube on this crap. Because right now, this platform it's not a level playing field at all. If one of us was to do the types of stuff that Ethan and Trisha have done, our channels would be gone. But yet they get to continue to do it to monetize the crap half the time. And something needs to be done to make YouTube enforce their rules equally and fairly. So, okay, it's either going to be we can't participate in that kind of stuff and nobody gets to, or we can and everybody gets to. There shouldn't be, one set of standards for this creator and another for another. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it through, some sort of fairy tale glasses or something, but that's just the way I feel about it. So what do you think about this subject, Michael? Where do you weigh in on this?
Well, I mean, I completely agree that any and every platform and anyone with a voice, which is everybody, should reach out and let the platforms know where they stand on things. I mean, because as long as they're allowed to run rampant, they're going to do it. Whatever brings the money in.
And
there's no checks and balances there. But if we keep them in check, and let them know, this is unacceptable. If enough people speak, I mean, they can't ignore it. There needs to be standards.
Starting petty drama is one thing. But what Ethan and Trisha were doing could completely ruin lives and possibly land people in prison.
Yes, that's way too far.
And YouTube and Susan have watched this and allowed it to go on and have not done anything yet. Just when Trisha started her crap over Shane, how fast did they remove Shane Dawson's monetization? James Charles, if I remember correctly, they removed his for a while. Multiple others. And okay, that's fine, but be fair and equal about it. I mean, for God's sake, Trisha wants everybody to forget this too. Her and Ethan both do, I'm sure. But Trevor Moran, she used to be known as Trevor Moran. She is trans. I happen to really like Trevi, just to be honest. But years ago, Trevi did a video with Shane and Trisha. And a lot of people wanted to point out that video as a way to say that Shane was a predator. However, if you watch that video, Trisha was sitting there making a lot of sexual statements to Trevi, who was at the time, I believe, only 16 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Trisha, do you think we all forgot about that, sweetheart? No, I got a memory like an elephant when it comes to bullshit.
Sounds like the pot calling the kettle black there, but that's just me.
Well, and you brought up something earlier I had forgotten about, too. She's wanting to yell that Keem with a 20-year-old, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, the world's going to end. She did a video on her OnlyFans having sex with a 23-year-old backup dancer.
Imagine that.
And she's quite a bit older than this dancer. So, Trisha, sweetheart, hypocritical much?
The definition of.
And she's doing this stuff. Ethan was going along with it. He's still doing some really shady crap. And YouTube and the CEO, Susan, are letting them get away with it. The only way it's going to be stopped and people like them be stopped is if more people start raising their voices and using their platforms and using their voices to call this out as often as possible. That's the only way I see it's ever going to stop.
Yep. I completely agree with that.
Guys, I'm tired of talking about bad crap. This whole podcast has been just
Yeah, we said last time we needed to get some more positive stuff. We need to really work on that on the next one,
Y'all help us work on that. Send us some positive stuff.
Yeah, drop us something you want us to talk about,
Please, some happy stuff, some good stuff where some people are out really doing great things and helping the world. Please, y'all, please, please, please. I can share a little positivity right now. I think we've talked about him on here before, Charlie Rocket.
Yep.
Charlie, darling, I love you. I've gotten to know Charlie a little bit, and he is an incredible person. And not long ago, they came across this homeless guy. And if you know anything about Charlie, him and his team have this habit of just going out on the streets and seeing if they could find somebody to help that day. And they came across this guy. And I remember I saw when he posted the video, I was like, oh my God, I know that guy. Because I kind of followed this guy's story. He had been in prison at one point in time, and he's an incredibly talented artist. Oh my God. This guy's art, I'll see if I can pull some of it like from Charlie's Instagram and stuff, and post a few things right around in here somewhere. I'll tie it all in together and post. Yeah, that's true. Who, Charlie's or what's his name? Ain't it Richard? Yeah, Richard. I don't know why I always forget his name so easily. Let's see here.
If you watching the video on him, it's in the video. At the end of the video, they pull it up in the video.
Wait a minute, are you talking about the video that Darman did on him?
Yes.
Okay, I was getting to that.
That website is still live.
I was getting to that.
I've jumped the gun twice on you tonight.
Yes, you have, but hold on. I need to tell the rest of the story leading up to it.
Okay.
But what had happened is when he got out of prison, Richard had a lady that really believed in him and his artwork, and she had gotten him set up with an art studio, a place to live, and he was doing good. He was thriving. And then there was a fire. He lost his studio, his home, everything's gone. So that's how he ended up out on the streets that day when Charlie and them came across him. And Charlie, he started telling Charlie his story, and Charlie looked him up on the internet real quick and found out it was all true. And so Charlie and them, if I remember correctly, they gave him some money, and they went back to check on him, and they were trying to find ways to raise money for him, raise awareness, trying to get him home. And Charlie ends up deciding, I can't leave him out here on the streets. Charlie took him home with him. That's how big a heart Charlie Rocket has. And before you know it, Charlie and his team, once they got set to work, they raised a ton of money for Richard. He is selling his art. He's going to have a home. He's got everything going for him again. And the first thing, this is going to be a little bit of a cry, but it's a good cry this time, y'all. One of the first things Richard said he wanted to do was go back to those streets and help the ones who were still there. And oh God, that just, that's happy tears, because we need people like that in this world. And if you are on Facebook much, I'm sure you've probably seen the Darman videos. Darman heard about Charlie and Richard, and he made a video based on them, and I will try to link that below as well. So y'all, I'm telling you, if you have not discovered Charlie yet, you need to, and I will include those links too.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. I can't say enough good about him. To give a little more insight on the story, I just pulled up an article done by CNN on Richard Hutchins.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah. Pronunciation is not wanting to work right now, but while he was in prison, he says he spent his days painting portraits on envelopes, and it's my understanding from another article I read that some of those envelopes are on display.
Do you remember where he got his paints from while he was in prison?
Yes, that's what I was getting ready to cover.
Yeah, this is awesome, guys. Listen.
He got his paints by experimenting on what was available to him. One thing I saw in another article said coffee was one. Toothpaste, Kool-Aid, the colored dye coating of Skittles and M&Ms, and made a paintbrush from hairs from his beard.
Now let me tell y'all something.
Resourcefulness. And it was during that time from the way this article reads. I guess while he was in prison is when his studio was lost to a fire. So once he was released, he had nothing.
I thought it was while he was in there, but I may have been getting it confused.
While he was in there,
when he got out. Excuse me.
Yeah, it says here by the time he was released, Hutchins had lost his studio to a fire and he became homeless.
Like Michael said, that is resourcefulness, but it's more than that. It is that's true passion. That is true passion for a skill, for what you know you were born to do, and for a dream. More people need that kind of passion. I don't know, one of my family members, I'm not going to say who, used to tell me as a kid I was a flighty dreamer. And that because of that, I would never amount to anything. I'm going to tell y'all like I used to tell that relative. The world needs all the flighty damn dreamers it can get. So, if you're a dreamer, don't let anybody stop you. No matter where you're at, what is going on, find ways to chase that dream. Richard should be a great example of that. I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm looking at it through dreamer's eyes. I don't know.
No, he's definitely got one painting I would love to have.
Which one?
The name of it is Acid Head. It's Jimi Hendrix inspired.
Oh.
I've always been a big fan of Jimmy. I would love to have one of those.
I'm just sitting here looking at Charlie's pictures and just grinning like, the cat that ate the canary, because you guys, Michael will tell y'all, at one point, I had given up on myself, on life, on this world. And I mean, when I say I'd given up, I tried to, let's just say I tried to not be part of this world anymore. Michael's one of the ones that helped me realize there was a lot of reasons to still be here. And then finding people like Charlie and like some of the people that have become a part of our little community. Darth, Grid, all these people make me glad I'm still here and give me some more hope for the world. So, by all means, if y'all have not checked out Charlie, if you have not checked out Richard, check these people out. And Michael, I don't know if you knew this or not, but there's talk of a possible TV show based around Charlie and his team and the works that they do. And Whoopi Goldberg invited them to the Tribeca Film Festival.
Nice.
So, yeah. And, when I saw that, I ain't even gonna lie, that was another time I cried. Just because I've been watching Charlie on this journey. And like I said, I've gotten to know him a little bit. And I know the heart he has. So it just made me feel so good to see that kind of good happening for him. And I know that by people like Whoopi Goldberg getting involved, Oprah Winfrey even got involved with Richard's situation. She reached out to Richard. She bought paintings from him.
Mm-hmm.
People like that getting involved is only going to help build this movement that Charlie has started even more. It's going to make it bigger and bigger. And the bigger it gets, the more people they're going to help and touch. And those people are going to remember that. And they're going to turn around and do that for somebody else. And it's just this gigantic positive chain reaction that I want to see go everywhere. So, yeah, I may sound silly and corny, and y'all can call me whatever you want, but that's the way I see it, and that's the way I feel about it, and that's the way I'm going to continue to feel about it. So, now, one other very good thing I wanted to talk about today. If you're not a gamer, you're probably not going to be really interested in this. I don't know. But as a lot of y'all know, me and Michael got started doing stuff online through gaming. Well,
They're gamer nerds.
Yeah, we're gamer
Nothing
nerds.
wrong with that.
We wear that flag proudly. We will fly it high. But one of my favorite games, and it's one that I don't think gets enough attention, so that's part of why I wanted to bring it up. Animallica. It has finally gone into beta. Now, this is a game that is being developed by a very small team. And it's a wonderful game. Basically, the premise of the game is there was this evil mad scientist type asshole. Dr. Moores. Go figure. It's not exactly like our last name, but very close, unfortunately. He did some very bad stuff that pretty much wiped out a lot of the earth. And you
Gotta hate it when that happens.
Oh yeah, it just, it happens every couple of weeks, whatever. But you play a character named Scarlet, and you are a scientist who is also infected, but you don't look infected. You're still fine for the most part, and you are going around the world trying to rescue what animals are left in the world and cure them, so that what humans are left can try to start rebuilding the world. And the graphics, it's beautiful. The game, you've seen it, Michael. Is it not friggin' gorgeous?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And, for an animal lover like me that wishes that in real life I could hoard every animal in the world but can't.
True story.
Yeah.
Tries.
I try, but, But this game is perfect for people like that, because that's the whole point of the game, is to hoard these animals and cure them and breed them and make more. So, hello. But of course you do have the mutants that came out of the Doctor's Table experiments that you have to get past, you have to kill. And it has 3 modes. You've got normal mode, and then you've got, they call it peaceful, but it's not completely peaceful. In peaceful, you just don't have the mutants and the monsters. However, you do still have wild animals that will attack, and you have to contend with that. And of course, normal survival, food, water, that type of stuff. And then they have the creative mode. I have been playing it. I've been playing the peaceful mode for a couple of years and just kind of dabbled a little bit with the normal mode, but decided to finally break down and do a whole series on the normal mode. Y'all can check that out over my channel. But whatever mode you choose to play, it is so much fun. You can build some absolutely beautiful settlements and towns, and I have a blast with it, and I was so happy it's gone into beta, and it seems like support for the game has really been picking up, so that made me happy as well. And one of the things the devs recently did with this new beta that I thought was so cool, they asked players, fans of the game, to send in pictures of their pets. So a lot of them did, and they have discreetly placed these pictures throughout the world. Like, you'll go in one building and all of a sudden look up and there's a picture of somebody's cat there on the wall. Stuff like that. I think that is so cool. It's so cute, and it's, to me, that shows the devs actually care about their players. If that makes sense. They care about their players and their community. And that was their way of showing their appreciation. And I thought that was really great. So I will include a link to Animallica on Steam, so you guys can go grab that up if you want. And I'm thinking maybe we might do a giveaway on it sometime, either here on the podcast or over on my channel. So just stay tuned for that. Michael, is there anything else we needed to cover, or are we done ranting for the night?
I think that pretty well covered it. I think we touched all the topics we wanted to, plus some.
Oh no, there were several more I still wanted to go, but I know this can't be like a 4-hour long podcast. So. Oh
yeah, you can do this all night.
Oh yeah, I gotta reel it in. Well, all right, guys, then I guess we are done for now. And like I said, we're going to try to get more regular, but we're not going to make promises on anything just yet. By all means, go check out that Patreon video once we get it up and get the link to it. It'll kind of explain to you what we're looking at doing and the ways we're looking at having more time and the resources to get everything on a better schedule and be able to do things a certain way. So if y'all get time, go check that out. For right now, we're out of here. Thank y'all for hanging out.
Thanks, everybody.
Later, guys.